Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dairy Raid, and it is the defensive breakdown of the Badgers versus Ohio State. Obviously, with a 34-0 outcome, it was not the best defensive output of the year. That's to put it mildly. But with how poorly the offense played, there's only so much give and take that the defense can do. So let's take a look at it here. Starting with the first play, have the Buckeyes pinned the 11-yard line. They came out in a 2x2, 12 personnel grouping, and this play to start with is just indicative of their game plan all day, and they were really simple. For as athletic as they were, they just wanted to get the ball out as quickly as they could. They had a lot of these little access throws built into their run game, and they were trying to put the Badgers defense in conflicts of assignment that would hurt them down the road, that would hurt them when they decided to take the big play. And here it's a situation where, damned if you do, damned if you don't. We're playing off in a 3-high shell buzzing down the safety. Game, Ohio State just kept it simple. Get the ball out quickly, get it to their playmakers. At worst, you're going to get 5 yards, one missed tackle, and it turns into a big play. And we'll see how that goes throughout the rest of this game. All right, next up, we have a 2nd and 5 situation. And this is both a learning opportunity for our defense, but also a learning opportunity to see how an offense that has just the timing and the feel that our offense lacks can do something that we have been doing all season and I have been seeing as a negative, and how they use it as a positive. And what I mean by this is Ohio State's going to come out here 3-by-1 condensed. They're going to motion down, and they're just going to run a out with a seam and a crosser. And we ended up getting pressure, and he gets to the check down. And we've had, especially the last few weeks, Hunter Simmons, a lot of plays where we get to the check down. But let's watch the kid go through his progression. Already on his first, as he's doing the play action, his eyes is on his first read, on to his second read, on to the crosser, which is where he probably wants to go. He wants this crosser to open up. And then as soon as we see the linebacker turn and run, as he should, because he needs to wall off that crosser, the check down is wide open. Coverage footwork kind of hurts him in a situation like this. He needs to wall him off, but he needs to react a lot earlier. And from this, he needs to open back instead of working out and then have to turn around. He should be crossing receiver. But again, you can see in his progression. So this is the advantage the offense has, is if the play is well designed, there is going to be somebody open, and it just depends on how quickly you can get through the progression. All right, next up, we've got a pretty good pass rusher up here by the defense. This is coming off of a turnover from the offense, giving Ohio State a short field. We get a 3rd down. Going to run a little rub with a mesh sit, and I think the defense does a really good job here distributing the routes. We got high-low, dropping the linebacker out. Hey, we've got a linebacker sitting on the crosser. Everything's here pretty good, and then we just get the pressure. And for us to have a good defense, we need to be able to get pressure against good offenses with 4. Okay, we're showing 5 here. I really like how they've started using Mason Bosa in these pass coverage, or these down and distance, situations where you bring him in because he has both the ability to be a pass rusher and the quickness to drop into coverage. So they show this 5 across look, and we're just going to run a little slant. Slant or D-tackle, Bosa goes outside. We widen with Daryl Peterson to create space, and then we just collapse the pocket. We're going to start here. We'll get the telestrator up because we want to talk through how, at least how I am going to set up this run fit, so then we can kind of figure out who is maybe to blame in the situation or why this play didn't work out as good as we would have hoped. All right, so here we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, so boom. We're going to hit it right here. Okay, so with this look right here, it's hard to know exactly where Austin Brown is reading off of the guys in front of him. Is he reading off the linebackers? Is he reading off of the edge? Doesn't really matter. He's down in the box. So where his key is going to be is probably going to be through here. So when he sees turnout, he's got to get downhill. Okay, right here. Our guard is engaged. Okay, we're sliding over because either we have a slant on or it's just because of how the fit is here. Austin Brown needs to get downhill. I don't know what he is waiting for. Okay, so just based off the footwork we see of these two linebackers, okay, their fit is probably here, here, and then here. So Austin Brown has got to go here. That's where he's got to fit. Even if, I would maybe read it where when we get action this way, that we get a leg roll here. But then as Austin Brown would need to work over the top. So regardless, he's got to get down. If he's down in the box, you've got to read it like a linebacker. And there's no reason to hesitate. He's not taking run steps out of this. If anything, the safety over top or pass steps, he's shuffling over. He's seeing the gap open. He's got to get there. Okay, to get involved. Okay, Ben Barton starts out pretty good here. He needs to get some separation and not just bury his chest in there. It's good to see him getting low. He's had issues getting low during the season. Okay, Parker Peterson getting low, stands up through it, does get some push moving laterally, so that's good. But we need to get these second level guys getting downhill. And when Austin Brown is down in the box, he is a second level defender, and he needs to make that read correctly. All right, later on in that same drive, we have an example of a rep here that is a play that I'm seeing people criticize Jameer Latimer on when he is doing his job. Okay, so based on what we have, the alignment here at the top of the screen, we're going to get wide zone action, and his receiver is widening. Okay, he is the flat defender. If we want to call this cover 3, and you kind of can because you're going to get our safety rolling down over here. So we're going to go single high. And when this number 2 receiver widens, he needs to be able, he doesn't want to go downhill. He wants to maintain the level he has on this number 2 receiver. And when he wants to maintain the width, as wide as he goes is where he needs to go. Now, he tries to react as the ball turns out. But what you need to get, if this was a straight drop back situation, then we would get Cooper Catalano. We get the linebacker sitting out here. So Latimer widening and Skane, our corner here staying up top, is not incorrect because our linebacker, he reads run. And this is why a lot of times you start to see these backside inside linebackers kind of playing more like a spy where he'll sit and wait. I mean, he shuffles down. An RPO can give you are wrong either way. So instead of criticizing a particular player, it just goes to show you how a well planned offense and a simple but effective play like a flat curl on the backside of a outside zone play can create conflicts of assignment for the defense. That's why we should be doing more of them on our own offense as well. This pass coverage rep, we had an incident earlier in the game where they ran a similar route concept. Let's watch this. We're going to get the exit motion, okay, and then we're going to run a variation of smash. You got smash and you got a flat, so call it a snag concept if you want. What happened when they ran something similar earlier is we had a situation where we had our corner sagging on this curl route, this hitch, a little deeper, we call it a curl, and then they threw the corner behind. This time, later in the game, Rico, you could see, doing a much better job communicating. We have a flat defender. We have a hooked curl player who actually, for a guy who came here as a outside linebacker, stand-up guy, Aaron Witt does a pretty good job distributing the routes and then being able to sit on the curl. Matt Young is our flat player, and he gives the leverage. You can give space, and then you come downhill when the ball's in the air, and you make a good hit. This is a really good job of covering all the routes. The entire rep was very solid, and it's one of those plays that shows the competency that is in the defense. The players do know what they are doing. We just need to string more of these kind of plays together to really sell the picture that this defense is growing. All right, coming out first play of the second half, Ohio State's going to come out in a 2x2, and they are going to run wide zone right here. Okay, solid tackle by our corner, but never a good thing when we're making tackles with the corner 4 or 5 yards deep on the outside. That means we lost the edge. Obviously, they're double teaming our best edge defender in Mason Reiger. But what we need to get here is we just need to get the linebackers to trust what they see. Because shuffling is one thing, but when the guy that you are chasing is running full speed, you also need to make up ground. And what ends up happening is you kind of shuffle your way. So when we get a fit like this, I don't want my back or my linebackers to be looking too much into the backfield. Now, one could argue the point that based on this on the footwork of the guard here, we could get right here with Christian Allegro. One could argue that. Okay, Cooper Catalano would be skating over the top and then looking to either fit the cut back here, or if it continues to bounce outside, he would need to flow over the top. Okay, we would also have Austin Brown should be coming down. Once he sees the tight end block down, he wants to come downhill and then work off of how Mason Reiger fits this. If he starts to get pushed back, then Austin Brown needs to feather out and become the force player. If he gains the edge, then he's able to fill off of Christian Allegro. What we end up getting, I'm not saying that what Allegro does here is wrong. I mean, he fits the right gap. I think he's skating too much. I think he can come downhill a little bit earlier. I think he's faster than 51. Now, he's playing with a broken arm, so I'm not going to question his toughness or anything like that. This could be affecting what he's going for. But right here, you could see it from the wide angle, and you can see it here. Cooper Catalano is a hell of a tracking linebacker. He does a really good job navigating through traffic. And I think he just shuffles a little bit too long. We can see the launch angle of the running back. get downhill and trust that you can get through here. I think he could have. You know, he's a kid, he's going to learn, but I think that could have been done better. Also, what would have really helped with this rep is if Ben Barton didn't stand up as he went through here and ended up getting turned, which really affects this lane that Catalano was running through, and maybe is the reason why he. I'll take the tackle. Good tackle by our corner. I'm really impressed with how the young corners have been tackling, but we need to fit this more aggressively. At this point in the game, you're down by 20 points. What is there to lose? All right, and next up, a 4th and 4 situation. Another example of Austin Brown kind of proving he is not really an off-the-ball linebacker. I think he is better suited as a nickel or even a nickel linebacker. As you can see here, he is. Okay, they are playing. We're squatting on number 1, and he's playing over the top. There is no reason that his footwork should be coming downhill, especially as soon as that back leaves the backfield. There's no reason to come downhill. And right there, I don't know what that stutter step right there. I don't know what maybe it's because he sees the crosser right here by 1. But even if he does, I mean, it's not. I think he's peeking at the tight end, and none of that is his responsibility. If he's peeking at this crosser, the linebackers are gonna distribute him up. You have a linebacker dropping into the middle of the field here. He's not an issue. The tight end going to the flat. We have a flat defender sitting throughout the season. He has proven that he does not have good ability to catch up going behind him. He has good ability to come downhill when he sees it correctly, but this is another example of him just not having good feet in open field coverage type situations. And until Preston Zachman gets back, we need a guy like him that can stay back and play in coverage, and especially because he was begging to play safety the last 3 years. It needs to get better. All right, next up, 1st and 10 situation. Another good run fit rep by this defense. Okay, they're going to run power GT, or I keep saying GT, it's GH. Okay, I like the rep here. We see Sebastian Cheeks here dip and rip and then get vertical again. That's a good job of wrong arming. Okay, and in that action, he helps spill. Okay, and we do a good job of not trying to avoid the tight end, but running through the tight end by Cooper Catalano. And then we get our force player who ends up being a well-coached nose tackle, knowing how to skate down the line of scrimmage. That's a nice aggressive safety who's playing his responsibility. And again, it pains me that we make so many good plays like this in a game where it's already out of hand because we know the offense can't do anything to put points on the board. All right, next up, we've got a 3rd and 3 situation. This is another example I'm talking about of the controlled nature of Ohio State's game plan turning into a big play. Okay, so they run this little mesh return, mesh whip kind of concept where they're selling mesh, and then they turn back out. It kind of creates a pick here where we get our 2 defensive players, our corner and our linebacker kind of running through each other. That creates the space. Our linebacker is really rushing to catch up with that wheel. His back is turned, and it just creates too much space and allows a simple little 5-yard route to turn into a big gain for the Ohio State defense. Now, what can we do here to get better alignment, or reaction to this? One could either be by alignment, which I think is fine. It just needs to make sure that we do not overcommit to the crosser, because there is this, if this turned into a mesh, it is running through so much traffic. You have time to catch up. You don't want to jump ahead of this, because by doing so, you put yourself out of position for exactly what we see here, and we overrun it. Okay, next up, first 10, same drive. And this shows you how, even if your offensive game plan or how you set up your run game does not always involve the QB in the run game, every now and then, if we get a situation where the QB keeps the ball right here, split flow, GH lead, and the defense just overcommits, but you have the ability to keep it. Okay, this is the type of play. If Hunter Simmons can't do this, he can't play quarterback in an offense like we have. And Ohio State's runs very similar to what we do. Okay, so obviously here Sebastian Cheeks gets way too excited with this, and the rest of the fit, let's look at the box. I think is pretty solid. Okay, so sorry, it's not a GH lead. It's more like a, it's a center tackle. Oh, wow, I like that. But anyways, we get a good push here. Like, I think if he actually handed it off, we would have fit it pretty good. I mean, we're there. Might have overwhelmed it, but what Sebastian Cheeks does here, that is the problem, is when you're coming into the backfield and attacking here, you cannot run to where the running back is going. You need to attack the mesh point if you are the edge defender. You cannot just commit inside. Okay, and maybe he's doing it because he wants to undercut the split flow, potentially. But you just make the read super simple. Now, what I would also say here is Tackett Curtis, he's looking inside the whole way. Why is he continuing to widen? I mean, we have players out there. Like, I'm sure he is in charge of that flat defender, or flat, the tight end coming across the formation. But he does not need to widen that much on this, especially because he starts doing it pre-snap because of the movement. But you just got to get downhill. So if Sebastian Cheeks gets a little more deeper, attacks this mesh point, he is in position to tackle both players, to stop both sides of the read. But because he gets greedy, he gives up his gap. In doing so, you need to have these players coming from the second level be able to react. Now, Matt Young is going through his progression. He can't commit downhill until he sees open hands. Okay, now he sees it. Now he's coming downhill, but he needs to, because we have routes coming out here. He needs to stay over the top. This is the type of play that a quarterback, even if they are marginally athletic, and this quarterback obviously is a blue chip 5-star. He is athletic as they get. You only have to do it a couple times, even once a game, and it's enough to keep players honest and not just attacking downhill. Because if this was Wisconsin's offense running this play, that play is killed in the backfield by our opponent's equivalent of Sebastian Cheeks, because they don't feel the quarterback is a threat in the run game. This is how you use it effectively, even if you use it minimally. All right, we're up next up in one of the dreaded second and short situations. So many options available in second and short. Here, Ohio State's just going to go to get the first down, and they just work a nice little, when you have a center who is athletic, this type of play is awesome. This is, it's almost like the my old high school belly play with a lead. Really like this action. And we just get a, I don't want to say a bad fit, but step. Okay, so we get a pull here. For me, okay, my guard's blocking down. I'm attacking here to skate if I'm Christian Allegro. I'm getting down blocks here. Tachycurtis needs to come downhill. Okay, my edge, and let's just get this off the screen. It's going to be easier. Okay, so Daryl Peterson, he kills us first, or he helps set this up because he's unblocked and he just charges 3 yards upfield. You make yourself so much easier to block in this situation, even if you're playing in a wide technique. When he goes away, square up to the line of scrimmage, move down the line of scrimmage, wrong arm to spill this. Instead, he helps create the gap. Okay, Tachycurtis coming downhill. I'd like to see him come a little bit more down and out, but I can't fault it here. I like that he gets in. Don't get in with the shoulder. You can't shed a block by putting your shoulder in. Okay? 3 points of contact. Hands, forearm, face mask. And then you can extend and get separation. But we don't get it. Also, I don't know what Christian Allegro here is waiting for. I mean, nothing here indicates that he shouldn't be finding a gap. We got a corner coming off the edge. Okay? Do you fit here? Do you skate over the top? Fit somewheres. Just sitting here waiting for the tight end to wall you off isn't doing anything. Austin Brown, it's run. What are you waiting for? What is the hesitation? But, it starts on the first level, getting too deep. It comes to the second level, turning our shoulder and just driving into this guy. You're allowing yourself to be blocked. And then it gets to the tackles. Okay, I like that Ben Barton is extending his arms, creating separation. That's not bad. That's actually pretty solid. Okay, Javier Suggs kind of gets taken for a ride because, his guard gets underneath him, and then the tackle is just pushing him out. Okay, Corey Walker, if he is slanting here, he's too narrow as he gets through here. He gets his separation, but it's a little bit too late. I want to see him get his right hand down the middle here so we can control here. Okay, Austin Brown, as soon as we see the squeeze here, we need to be moving with it. Okay, don't need to shuffle this much. You can get down in there, walled off. Okay, linebackers. Okay, gap, hit it. We don't need to keep shuffling. Get it, hit it. Okay, hit it. If he gets pushed through your gap, you go over the top. We should be in the line of scrimmage by now. Okay, and actually, I think we're lucky here that the split flow tight end bypasses, but he has got to have some awareness of what's happening here. He doesn't need to skate that much. I mean, he's the backside flow guy anyways, and he saw it. He realizes it. He knows he's got to go. Okay, then go. Why you look back? Okay, he's flowing. He's in his run fit. Not going to fault him here. Did he skate too far? Probably, because I don't think he's going to get picked up because we got a body for body on everyone on the line of scrimmage. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. We got 2 edge guys. We got 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. Okay, they're getting pushed back. Okay, once the quarterback opens up, he sees it. He's got to get to his landmark. Follow the eyes back. As soon as he looked back to the quarterback there, he was dead. See, he almost caught up, and he's not given much help here. He's given a lot of responsibility on this play. But at the end of the day, you got to trust what you see. Okay, we saw it. Okay, instead of looking back that second time, just run. Okay, that's what you're told to do. Go do it. But it ends up being a touchdown. This puts the Buckeyes up 27-0. They get another touchdown here after this. We're already almost 40 minutes, so I think we're going to call it here. Obviously, Ohio State had a very efficient game plan, and they just picked the defense apart. They made these drives last. They took their time. And when the defense was not giving any breaks, when the offense was basically going 3 and out every series or almost every series, it wears on you. And when you get no help after a long drive to then have to go back right out there because your offense can't stop anybody or it can't do anything, the scores get out of hand. I'm not saying that 34-0 doesn't tell the story of how the game played. It did. The defense, while they weren't destroyed, they made enough fundamental mistakes that Ohio State was able to extend those drives. Ohio State took advantage when the defense put themselves out of position. They took advantage. And when Ohio State wanted to show that they had 5-star blue chip guys all over the field, as was their first touchdown, which I didn't put on here because everyone's seen it, they did that too. And that's what Ohio State does. And you either have to put up a fight or kind of lay down. And that's certainly what the offense did in this game. Defense did what they could for as long as they could, but they didn't rise to the occasion either. So, all right. That is going to be it for this. This is the Badgers defense versus Ohio State. Next up is Oregon, a team that is going to be much more aggressive, much more dynamic. A team that Ohio State is better than, but has a much different approach. And I am both morbidly looking forward to seeing what happens and not looking forward to the breakdown that's going to come after that. So fingers crossed, I'm just being pessimistic and the season's just getting to me. But as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.